everything are one and the same. The only way out is through. But the song is a symbol of my promise to walking with you. Angel, you were born of fire. Your diamond heart was forged in pressure. Your tears will render you clean. Take rest and a deep breath when you need me, my sister. Hold you high in my heart today. That love's healing will come your way. In blessed truth, I sing to you that what is old and broken will be made anew. I hold you high in my heart today. That love's healing will come your way. In blessed truth, I sing to you that what is old and broken will be made anew. I hold you high in my heart today. That love's healing will come your way. In blessed truth, I sing to you. What is old and broken will be made anew.
KWJUDAS, Free Radio Provo. We have Sevenity joining us here on this beautiful, fine evening. It's a fine, beautiful evening here in Gumption, Utah. And you yourself, you came from
Denver, Colorado.
Denver, Colorado. Indeed. And how long have you been on the road?
Around a month. Yeah.
And didn't you say something about a little bit of hitchhiking
Yeah.
throughout your tour?
Yeah. We hitched for
Please
We hitched for
speak into
1,200
that.
miles.
There we go.
For a couple weeks, down through New Mexico and into Arizona, and then back to Denver to get the car. I didn't have a whole lot of time or energy for music. Spending all my energy trying to get places. So it was, and it was like 100 degrees. So
So how long were you doing that for?
2 weeks. Yep.
Damn. How many shows did you play within that space of
Oh,
time?
not a lot. Just maybe a little busking. I didn't do a whole lot.
Busking's always fun, though.
Yeah.
I mean, even if you're doing it somewhere you're not supposed to, what's the worst they can do?
Yeah. Tell you to bugger off a little bit. Yeah. Santa Fe was like that.
They told you to bugger off?
Yeah.
Is that what you said? Bugger?
Yeah.
Bugger off?
Yeah, you gotta.
Man, I don't know how many times I get told to bugger off, even when I'm not busking.
Yeah.
It's outrageous. So they told you to bugger off in Santa Fe?
No. Somebody else warned me before it happened. You need to pay for a license there.
There's a lot of places like that, so I understand. I've never really tried it myself. What you got to do is go down to the Vegas Strip. People will just pay you to take a picture with you. I mean, if you're like
I'll take
dressed
it.
like Gene Simmons or something, and you're wearing roller skates, and you've got like a machete.
It's true.
He doesn't know what to say to that.
Nope.
No, I just recommend trying it. You're going to have a lot of people asking you for photos, and yeah, they'll pay you for it. I've done it like 3 times. So what you got to do is learn how to juggle cantaloupes while you're on the Vegas Strip too. That'll get you a lot of attention. Anyways,
Or cabbages.
a lot of peanut shells actually. So as we all know, we're all kind of just in it for the peanut shells.
It's true.
So anyways, how long have you been playing music?
I guess like 15 years.
15 years?
Mhm.
Have you been in any other bands?
Yeah. Different like punk and hardcore bands, and that's pretty much it. But mostly Michigan based. Day in Day Out was like a
Michigan based.
yeah.
But you're from Denver.
I live in Denver the last 5 years. I moved out to Denver 2012.
So you started out in Michigan.
Mm-hmm.
And
I started out from a sperm and an egg. Yeah.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
What were, anybody do anything now, or what were your projects?
Day in Day Out was a band from Mount Pleasant, Michigan. It was like a punk. I don't know what to call it. You know, like what do you categorize things as?
That sounds like
it was
punk,
fast and melodic and
fast,
intense.
melodic, intense.
Yeah.
Band name.
Yep.
Are you in any current bands?
No, just me and this little guitar. That's all I do.
Hell yeah.
So
So what made you just decide, you know what? F it. I'm going to go off.
Did you
and-
just edit yourself?
I did.
Judas?
I can't believe I did that.
You should pat yourself on the back. I'm
actually
proud
thought
of
for
you.
a second and was like, man, before every show I tell
I'm
people
proud of you.
not to cuss, and I'm always the one that's doing it. So, yeah, I will. I'll jerk myself off, give myself a
Good
pat
jerk.
there on the back. So, speaking of F words, you said that on the way here you play hippie F word music. That didn't really sound very hippie F word. That was pretty cool. I like the whistling.
yeah,
I guess
the beer
hippie
dried out my
F-words
whistle a
whistle.
little bit. I couldn't actually whistle. I missed some notes there. I was pretty embarrassed.
Oh,
This morning it sounded great, and then
Well,
I
damn! I thought it was
sucked
still
down a
pretty
few
cool.
beers, and I can't. Now it's too dry. I can't do it.
Don't blame it on the alcohol.
You know,
I've been drinking all day, and I can whistle
You-
just fine.
yeah, you need to whistle those parts for me. I can't do it myself.
I don't know the parts.
Yeah.
I'll learn them though.
Good.
If we would have gone over this before the show, I mean, ladies and gentlemen, I have actually had the opportunity of hanging out with this guy and his girlfriend our last day or so. We even went camping and fishing. It was a great experience. So I can say, even before the show started, these guys are pretty effing cool.
And just to let
If
y'all
they
All-star
can
know,
put
catch.
up with my ass for that long, if you guys already spent a whole night with me and you're still here, then goddamn, wow, that's a lot. All right,
A catfish,
sorry, wizard.
a catfish, and a brown trout later.
Oh yeah, that was awesome, wasn't it?
Yep.
Got us a big old channel catfish and my first trout of the year. It's June, and that was my first trout of the year, man.
That was a good one.
That was good. Sorry, what were you gonna say, wizard?
that no fish were punched in the making of this show.
Don't make me spit up my beer with it. Now that's it. That's going to be an ongoing joke now, just because of that last show with Jefferson Montoya. I
guy's
got
bad.
way too much shit for that one. Let us never speak of that again. Even though I know it's probably going to get brought up in the next, probably half hour or so. All I did was talked about punching a fish. There's no proof or evidence that I ever actually did. So, let's have another song, shall we?
Cool. Yep, I'm gonna do a couple back to back. These songs kind of match.
That's
each other.
good, yeah. Not a problem. We have Sevenity on KWJUDAS, Free Radio Provo, and thank you all for listening.
What does it take to disarm darkness in motion? Like a blind man using acid as lotion. To to be here, because stillness is like a vacuum to a fire. No oxygen to grow, no flame to main. Fearful mind, let him know that all's alright while walking the peaks of mountain tops. High above the deadly rocks, be still. Be with yourself, be rhythm, be limber. Be still, be with yourself, be rhythm. A gentle rain to a drought-stricken tree. Just a wave, you're so much more.
That was pretty cool.
Thank you, brother.
Sorry, I mean, that was Sevenity here on KWJUDAS Free Radio Provo. Provo. What was that about? Just curiosity.
That last song's about death.
Oh.
Yeah.
One of our favorite subjects here on
Yeah.
KWJUDAS.
That
Go, please
so
indulge.
I took a Buddhism class when I was in college, and there was like this parable about a wave, and the wave is supposed to be a person, you know, and it's like crashing toward the shore, and it's gonna die. It's gonna dissolve into nothing on the shore, and it's freaking out. And then there's a wave behind it. It's like, hey, you know, like you're in the ocean. Don't worry about it. So
Yeah.
And I was like, well, that's kind of cool. It's kind of a cool way to look at it, you know. So I wrote a song about it.
That does kind of make sense.
It does, doesn't it?
Kind of.
I mean, kind of. We're not waves. We're human beings.
I mean, any sort of parable only kind of makes sense.
It's true. It's just a creative way to think about death, I guess.
I like it, though.
Yeah.
So I guess we kind of warned you. We do talk about death a little bit. Here on KWJUDAS. And since we're on the topic, we have had a lot of stories about some crazy shit people have, I guess, witnessed while they're on tour. We had a guy, actually your style sort of kind of reminds me of him, that depicted a story of some people who lit themselves on fire at a gas station. And it does get brought up more than once because it's kind of a remarkable story. And watching them burn to death, I've actually watched someone burn to death, and it's kind of weird. It's kind of weird.
Was it
So,
intentional?
I mean,
like,
I guess...
like self-immolation? Was it intentional?
Which one?
Like the story of the...
That one you couldn't have really said. And I guess the one that I witnessed, you couldn't have really said either. They just kind of jumped into a big bonfire out in the desert. It was pretty... Well, it was pretty crazy.
Substance-related, maybe?
Possibly.
Yeah.
It was speculated. Of course, anytime that somebody does something like that,
Unless it's
most
a
people
Buddhist
ask
monk
is,
in Vietnam. You'd assume.
Yeah, like, they want to know what were they on. What would just make somebody do something that crazy and bizarre? Well, I actually was close friends with a good chum who did it himself. And what made him do it? Life's a bitch. Oh, that was it. That was pretty much it.
Cool.
I thought at least somebody might laugh, but not even a cricket. No. Anyways.
You're hanging out with a bunch of Buddhists.
The question is, I don't know. I don't want to pry. Have you any of those sort of a tale?
Not, yes. I mean, I've lost a lot of people close to me as far as death goes.
Right.
My uncle that raised me, both my sisters, best friend. So I've lost quite a few people. But yeah, I don't know. You don't take life for granted as much. I think I generally treat people better, having lost people that I love. So.
And every time you lose someone, it kind of makes you look at life a little differently. I mean, every time.
Absolutely.
Because every time it's different. I've been through many myself. But who wants to be such a buzzkill on such a joyous occasion as Sevenity on KWJUDAS Free Radio Provo? Yeah! So, why don't you sing another really fucking depressing song? No, I'm just kidding. I'm all about the...
I will. Love to.
Yeah, I'd love to hear it. So I really wasn't kidding at all. But I'm going to drink this beer while you do it, if you don't mind. Would you like a beer? Anyone?
I would love a beer.
All right, then. We're drinking beers here with Sevenity on KWJUDAS Free Radio Provo. And yes, it's Gumption beer. 3.2 Utah Gumption High life. Anyone else? I have one. Pass it along. And make sure that we shred these beer tabs because you don't want to kill the little baby seals or the seagulls or the amphiumin. Is that what they are? A two-toed amphiumin?
Or the
Wizard, you know
catfish.
about those. You know,
Kill
the
catfish.
big long eel things that are actually an amphibian. I hear they got a mean bite. Sorry, I'm getting
Vicious.
distracted. So, what's the name of this tune you got here for us?
This one's called Harbor for Your Courage. It's a song written by one of my best friends in Denver. He wrote it. Well, it's basically to anybody that's, venturing out, like making drastic changes in their life and, heading into uncertain waters where there's not as much security to make a better life in whatever way that means for you. But it's called Harbor for Your Courage.
Sevenity on KWJUDAS, Free Radio Provo. Thank you all for listening.
Many
Sevenity on KWJUDAS, Free Radio Provo. Sorry, I had a little tadpole stuck in my throat.
Tadpole.
He's still there. It's not a frog. It's the underdeveloped zygote of a frog.
Frog balls.
I guess you wouldn't call it. Hey, we already talked about that, dude. You know that that's not real.
Yeah, well, got to prove it.
You can't prove something's not real. Everybody knows that. You can prove something's real, but you can't prove something's not real. Ask Sasquatch. Or God. Yes, I did just compare God to Sasquatch. You can't fucking prove either of them exist. And that's how we roll here on KWJUDAS, folks. There might be a God, there might be a Sasquatch, but until you can prove the size of the schlong of the elusive
Judas.
Sasquatch. What?
You realize you just solved the puzzle.
Huh?
What? Sasquatch is God.
Oh, shit. And there's a reason they call you the wizard. I mean, there's a couple reasons, but that was one of them. I do appreciate. That was your fact of the day.
My useless fact of the day.
Wizard usually has a useless fact for every show, and that was the most useless fact you've provided, I'd have to say. I can't remember what it was. What was it?
Sasquatch is God.
Oh, yeah. Totally. Yeah, I can go with that.
I get behind that.
I think I can finally actually accept religion now. It kind of makes sense. I always used to think maybe Cain was Sasquatch. Oh, no.
No.
Back when I was a young Mormon boy.
That's what they teach the Mormons.
Mowing the lawn.
I love Utah.
Yeah, how many times have you been here?
This is the only time that counts.
I love Utah.
The only time that counts.
Yeah.
So you've pretty much just driven through?
Mm.
Right. That's kind of how I feel about...
Colorado?
Oh, no. I think I told you how Colorado, when we went, it was just the same sort of like desert terrain that we usually have here in Utah, because I didn't actually make it into any real specific town.
Was it Grand Junction?
No, it wasn't even a... It was... I mean...
BFE?
There was these hippie F words, as you so properly coined the term.
Coined, yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Damned hippie F words that had some property out there, and we were helping them do an event. It was actually pretty fun.
Nice.
The second time we went out there, it wasn't as fun because the weather just blew a chode. But you know how blowing chodes go. I mean, shit,
it's unpredictable.
It's not always fun, dude.
It's unpredictable.
Blowing a chode. If I was the weather, fuck, I'd have blown a chode that day. That whole weekend,
yeah,
I would have blown chode. So I can't really blame the weather.
You know, if chodes were getting blown more often in Colorado, maybe there wouldn't be so many forest fires.
Well, I can only imagine, because we were out still in the middle of the desert. It wasn't even really like desert. It was just sagebrush and dead weeds, just like it is in most of Utah if you just drive like a little way out of here. See, Gumption is surrounded by absolute nothing. They could hide an Area 51 in Gumption's backyard, and nobody would even know the difference. I mean, I swear, Skinwalker Ranch is like a coin's toss away. Anyways.
Skinwalker. That's that Navajo term, right?
We probably don't want to really indulge in that whole thing on the air because we don't want our entire station to be cursed.
That's a good point.
It already is. I mean, just saying, we don't want to make things worse, do we? Draw as much negative attention as we possibly can to our humble little studio here in Gumption, Utah. But, oh shit, did you hear that? Yeah, we should probably play another song, dude.
Okay, this is a new one.
Yeah, let's have another song.
This one's called Pour It Out. Into your mouth.
what's it called? Sevenity on KWJUDAS Free Radio Provo. Thank you all for joining.
Felt the wind blow across my chest. I never knew that life could be so great. Dirt covered my face, I found my place where I'm no longer in conflict with peace. Too long it's been living on someone else's clock, serving a master apart from my very own connection to the force that beats my heart. No longer swimming upstream from happiness, vitality. How much do we really need? Don't need anything but a little bread and a jacket when it's cold. The love of my people sheltering each other from the storms created by the separation from each other. It's all boiled down to this. I can finally see it now. The gift flows forth from hands unclutched. The controller takes a bow, pour it out, give it away, circulate what we're afraid others will take. The program is strong, the concrete is thick, but the exhaustion is setting in. Too seldom the day that my mind is quiet, bowing to the knowingness of my heart. Aspen grove, sunshine on my toes, enough and just enough is where happiness grows. We're done compromising our lives in the darkest of the world's nights. Where there is fear, a sacrifice is ready to be made. To maintain, the program is strong, the concrete is thick, but we are waking up, it's all up to us.
KWJUDAS Free Radio Provo. We have Sevenity here joining us on this blind pheasant evening. Pleasant evening. And I was kind of wondering, you said that where did you get the name Sevenity?
It came from a dream,
That
8 years ago.
was something that we mentioned and I wanted to save for tonight.
So Sevenity, he was just this being. His name was Brian Sevenity, and it was more of an it almost. Like I didn't know, but it was like it was almost like an angel sort of thing. But we didn't say anything.
How
to
did
each
you
other.
know his name?
He told. I guess it was like telepathic. I think it just like I just knew it. Like I don't remember
was
him
just
saying
there.
it to me. I just remember knowing it.
Crazy.
And it was just like a completely fearless, loving presence.
So it wasn't a negative entity.
Oh my God, it was an incredibly positive entity. Yeah,
Cool.
yeah. And then I looked up the name Sevenity. I was like, oh, that sounds like Haggerty or like another Irish name. You know.
So
but it's not like it doesn't exist. Like it's not
a word.
It's not a word.
Curious.
Yeah. So it's like
Curious hour and curious hour.
curious, are we?
Indeed. So how long ago was that?
8 years ago.
Really? How old were you?
Well, I'm 32 now, so I guess I was 24.
Huh.
Yeah.
Were you on anything?
No, just a maybe.
Again,
Maybe
that's always got to be the question.
Well, maybe I think it was one of the nights when I wasn't on anything. I was probably just full of cookies and milk and just a normal ass night, school night. I was in college, so who knows?
So what happened in the dream?
So very little. He was standing. So I was lived in this apartment next to the railroad tracks in Mount Pleasant, Michigan, and there was this bridge that was full of graffiti, and everybody called it the Heroin Bridge.
And that was in real life, not in the dream.
Yes, this is in real life.
Okay.
But this is where he was in the dream.
Right.
So their Heroin Bridge is like got a bunch of broken bottles on it, and it's just kids go there and drink and do graffiti and stuff and
Right.
whatever. It was outside my apartment. So he was standing on the bridge in the dream, just sort of radiating still in that, like on the bridge, and I was standing off the bridge, like looking at him.
Huh.
And then after that, he introduced himself, not verbally. I don't remember talking to him, just knowing his name, and then hopping a freight train off of the bridge. We hopped a freight train, and we were like kind of dangling our legs off the back of a freight train.
The two of you.
Yes.
Him and Sevenity and yourself.
Yeah.
And you've only seen this guy once?
Yes.
That is pretty cool.
Yeah.
Where, this was what state?
Michigan.
Michigan?
Yep.
How old would you say this guy seemed to be?
Ageless.
Just kind of,
Yeah.
he didn't
Infinitely
appear to be an old man or a youthful,
He was infinitely
Sort of.
young, infinitely old.
just
Yeah.
kind of a being.
Yep.
That is actually, I do take a lot of interest in that story and other stories that I've heard like that. You know, I've heard a lot of just things where people could swear they were introduced to people or beings, I can't say people, entities that craft your dreams. The ones who are kind of behind the framework,
Wow.
if that makes sense.
It does.
And I don't know how much to read into it. I haven't read into it.
Yeah.
It's extremely interesting, and I've always taken quite the fascination towards dream state and just how the subconscious mind is, if it's manifesting that preemptively or if certain things, because, I mean, we all know, well, people who at least remember their dreams know that there's been, you have to admit, there's been times that you dreamt of something and it happened.
Yeah.
Has that not happened to you?
Well, that hasn't happened to me, but my dreams have guided my life a lot.
Yeah, I've
Big life decisions have been
definitely
guided
had
by dreams.
what you would almost call prophetic dreams.
Definitely.
You know, wizard.
Yeah, it's not often, but I've had them. It's been years, but just more frequently as a kid. I would dream shit before it happened.
Wow.
Really
My
strange.
cousins were like that too, but I never had that experience. We got in a terrible car accident when we were kids, and my cousin Brian and cousin Lauren both dreamt it the night before it happened.
Yeah,
That was really bizarre.
yeah. I've definitely heard of stuff like that, and I've kind of had occasions myself.
Gives me goosebumps.
But you have to wonder, is it a manifestation of the future, Or is it your subconscious mind almost projecting something and that energy almost caused it to happen? Does that make any sense?
It does.
Or your belief in that? Because the mind is a terribly powerful thing.
It is, but I would hope
More
that
so
in
beyond
our,
most people's realization.
It's true. I would hope in our infantile state of evolution that we aren't that powerful.
Yeah, you would hope so. But there are too many times where, you'd almost question which was it? Or is it just coincidence?
Yeah.
Total coincidence. It's easy to just say it's coincidence because, kind of like we were saying, you can't really prove it. Can't really prove something doesn't exist. You can't really prove that wrong.
Yep.
Any of those theories. But you can't prove them right either.
Yeah.
Another kind of thing I've always postulated is deja vu. You know what I mean? How a lot of times you swear to God you've been there before, or you've seen it before, or you've seen this happen. You know the exact next words that whoever it is in that room is about to say. And where does that come from? I've had dreams that are the same way, where I swear I was having deja vu in my dream. And that's another just kind of thing that kind of leaves a lot of questions, of course.
Yeah. That's fascinating. Alan Watts, his explanation of what deja vu is probably my favorite.
What's that?
He talks about time as like an ocean. It's not linear.
Right.
And so when we have deja vu, we sense something is about to happen before it happens. He basically says that it's like the ripples of, like, say a pebble dropping on an ocean, and then like it's basically like the feeling and the little ripples before you get to the center point. It's like almost just like seeing like time is like this ever-present thing. It's not. It's eternal. The present moment is eternal, and like it's not linear. I can't really describe it that well, but that's Alan Watts' idea, and I really like that a lot.
Yeah, that is pretty cool.
Yeah,
I mean, deja vu, especially, this is kind of this phenomenon I've always kind of been interested in, and I don't know how I've managed to link it to dream states, but
I've never heard of that.
It kind of does make sense. Like, if you just dreamt this, that's where you would recognize it from.
That's fair.
And I have had times that I've, of course, have reoccurring dreams that are in the same location that I've never been in real life. You know what I'm saying? And I'm with people that I've never met in real life, but they're very familiar in the dream.
Yeah.
I don't know their name. I could never retain their name when I'm awake, when I'm here. But unlike a lot of people, I'm pretty involved in the dream state, and I'm almost convinced that you're kind of living two separate lives a lot of times. But we have kind of indulged in this subject for a moment. Oh, God, we've only got like 13 minutes left, folks. Sorry, we do tend to get distracted here on KWJUDAS when we get into an interesting topic.
It's been fun.
It is. And, I mean, you did say that you weren't sure if you'd have enough material to cover an hour, so
That's good.
I warned you. We're going to have to bullshit a little bit.
I've got plenty, so I'm going to cut down to 2 more songs.
Okay. I'm actually just receiving the Derpens League commercial on email, so I'll get that queued up here in just a second.
Cool.
And, yeah, we are with you live on KWJUDAS, Free Radio Provo with Sevenity. Thank you all for listening.
How long's the commercial? My tuner died.
All this speaking of death, we've experienced the death of a tuner on this tragic evening of KWJUDAS. The tuner is dead, folks. Sorry. Go ahead. Are you tuned?
Yeah, I'm tuned.
All right, we're good. KWJUDAS, Sevenity on Free Radio Provo.
All those who died for liberty have heard the eagle scream. All the ones who died for have died but for a dream. Oh, then rise, rise, rise. Dark horse on the wine. For in no nation on the earth more broken hearts you'll find. The flames leaped high, reached to the sky, to the seed nation's soul, and in the ashes of our broken dreams, we lost sight of our goal. Oh, then rise, rise, dark horse on the wine, and help our hearts seek Gaia, our soul again to find. Now charlatans wear dead men's shoes, iron rattle dead men's bones, ere the dust has settled on their tombs. They've sold the very stones. Oh, then rise, 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 dark horse on the wine. For in no nation on the earth more rich poverty you'll find. In grief and hate our motherland, her dragons deep
kid? Where'd you get that swell necktie?
Oh, well, not from Derpishly, of course. They just sell you some kind of self-activated bedwetting necktie, or a necktie that falls apart in your hands, puts itself back together, and it has a self-wetting necktie, or a bedwetting railroad spike, or a toboggan.
Ha! No toboggans here. Derpishly's just bringing it back old school. Derpishly's got the new vintage Cuban necktie.
Hey, no. No.
Hold on, still. Just cut there. One incision there. A few little. There. Pull the tongue out. And sheboygan. There we are. Good old vintage Cuban necktie. Brought to you by Derpishly. And remember, if it doesn't say Derpin, it's not Derpishly. Well, that was a word from our sponsor here. Derpishly is the one who actually pays for all of our lodging and hotel rooms and igloos that they make us stay in every time we record this god-awful show here in Gumption, Utah.
Can't imagine
So-
how much it costs them to
How-
keep these igloos frozen out here just to make us stay in them.
How many peanut shells they must pay the Eskimos that live here in Gumption. So we probably got time for one more tune. And at least to plug where we would find your music.
So sevenitymusic.bandcamp.com.
Okay.
Yep.
So do you have any CDs or merchandise or anything like that?
I've got some split tapes that I.
Oh, you got cassettes?
Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome.
I got a couple of
Dude,
them.
I got to get one of those from you. I
Absolutely.
actually still collect cassette tapes. Hell
Thankfully,
yeah.
I
Hell
don't
yeah,
meet too
yeah.
many people that even can play cassettes anymore. So it's nice
Well,
to.
Actually, you'd be surprised at how many people come through here that's what they got as a cassette tape.
Good.
And that's why I think it's awesome. And, of course, that's why I have quite the collection of
I even-
them.
Awesome.
I even still have a functioning
So-
8-track player.
Nice.
Hell yeah. So before we go, Sevenity, the best way to get a hold of you again is Bandcamp.
Yep. sevenitymusic.bandcamp.com.
And if you want a cassette tape,
Just
just gonna-
message me on there, or like sevenitymusic@gmail.com.
all right. Hell yeah. I hope you all have enjoyed what you've been hearing as much as I have. And what's the name of this last tune?
In your corner.
In my corner?
Not in his corner, dude.
I don't know if you want to be in my corner.
I ate a bunch of beans.
I have soil. Don't mind the discarded soiled undie draws. All right, In My Corner by Sevenity, KWJUDAS. We really appreciate everyone listening, and have a pleasant tomorrow. We'd like to thank you for joining us on another exclusive and exciting episode of KWJUDAS on Free Radio Provo. We'll now return you to our regularly scheduled free radio programming.